Now that you've gotten started with the Shift Schedule feature by selecting your first day of the week, you're ready to customize this feature so it reflects how your business schedules employees. We will do this by updating 3 pages: Account Settings, Labor Plans, which is optional, and this feature's Settings page. In this video, we will cover how to update your account settings page. This will involve 2 main steps: updating your security roles and updating your positions. First, click the building icon and then click Account Settings. Next, navigate to the Security tab where we'll update the permissions for each security role. Remember, each user is assigned a single security role. Each security role has a set of permissions which dictates what a user can see and do in Woven. For this task, you need to determine which shift scheduling permissions you would like to grant for each role. Start by clicking a role, which will navigate you to that role's permissions found under the Section Access heading. There are 2 sections of permissions that you'll need to update for each role: the My Schedule section and the Schedule section. The My Schedule section dictates what a user can see when they click My Schedule, which is this page on the browser. We suggest giving full access to the My Schedule Shifts option. This will allow users who have this role to view their upcoming shifts, their location's weekly schedule, and be able to pick up, swap, and give away shifts in their My Schedule page. On the other hand, this permission does not have to be given to roles associated with team members who are not in the schedule or do not need to review a location's weekly schedule. For those roles, keep None highlighted for this permission. Next, let's go to the Schedule section, which controls whether a user will be able to see the Shifts feature via the Management menu and build schedules. These permissions control this page. These permissions will most likely be given to roles associated with team members who have operator or manager responsibilities. We do not recommend giving these permissions to roles associated with team members who are not operators, managers, or leads. Please note, only a portion of these permissions apply to the Shifts feature. These Schedule Management Labor Planning permissions apply as they affect labor planning for shifts. We recommend giving full access to these permissions for only owners and operators. You could also give these permissions to managers, but only if they will be responsible for adding and updating your rules for how you will schedule your employees. The next permission, named Schedule Management Manage Settings, dictates whether someone can view and update the settings page for the Shifts feature. We suggest giving this permission to owner, operator, and possibly manager roles. The last set of permissions that you should consider are the Schedule Management Schedule list of permissions. Review the description of each permission to determine whether you'd like to grant it to that role. This concludes the permissions that you need to consider for each role in your account. Once you're done with a role, click the Back to Roles list button to navigate back to your account's list of roles. Now repeat these steps for each role in your account. We know it can feel like a lot to assign permissions to each role in your Woven account, so to make it easier for you, we've created a Shift Permission Suggestion sheet. Please review this sheet to get a sense of what permissions we suggest giving to an owner, operator, manager, shift lead, and team member. A word of advice: we suggest giving less permissions to begin with and then adding them on whenever you see an employee with a particular role limited by what they should be able to do in Woven. Remember, you can always tweak these permissions later, so don't feel pressured to get this perfect the first time around. Okay, at this point we have covered the hardest part. So now we can turn our attention to the second main step in this video, which is updating your positions in account settings. First, click on the Positions tab. On this tab, we see a list of positions as defined in your Woven account. For this step, we will need to tell Woven how to treat employees of certain positions when it comes to scheduling them on a weekly basis. Start by clicking a position which will navigate you to that position's configurations. Scroll down to the Schedule Configuration section as it houses the only configurations that you may want to tweak. First, you have the option to enter in a default hourly pay rate for the selected position. Second, do you allow employees in this position to go into overtime hours? If you do, choose yes. If you do not, choose no. Third, do you want to schedule employees with this position on a weekly basis? If you do, choose yes. If you do not, choose no. Fourth, by default, an employee with this position will be able to pick up open shifts for this same position. For example, a manager can pick up open manager shifts by default. You have the option to choose additional positions that an employee of this position can pick up open shifts for. For example, let's choose the assistant manager position in this drop-down box. With this selection, you allow a manager to pick up open manager or open assistant manager shifts, but not shifts associating with other positions. Good! We have now covered how to update your account settings for the Shifts feature. And here's your assignments. Update each of your roles' My Schedule and Schedule Permissions, and then update each position's Schedule Configuration section. Once you have completed this assignment, please watch the Optional Labor Plan Setup video. If your locations do not have a labor plan, in other words, a set of rules or guidelines for how to schedule employees for the week, you can skip to the Shift Settings video.